What's up, everybody? My name is Jamie, and basically, what I'm getting on here today about is the Lord has been revealing some things to me here lately, and speaking to me and showing me some things, and He's been really moving me to get on here and putting a fire up under me to get on here and share my testimony with you guys. And he's really making it, he's been making it really urgent. This is really important, and like he's been pressing me about it, like why haven't you done this video? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, this is not a game, I'm not kidding, and everything. And I realized that there's been some stuff that's really trying to block me from making this video. And it just started off with, okay, so first off, I guess let me get into my testimony. Let me just get right into this, okay? So, like I said, I'm Jamie, 35 years old. From Nashville, Tennessee. But let me get into this. So my spouse and I purchased a travel trailer recently, because we were like just tired of the everyday back and forth, life, and just going work, go home, go to work, go home, killing ourselves, to try to pay these bills and everything. And so we just decided, hey, let's get a travel trailer and let's go travel. Let's go travel. Like, why wait till we get older to try to go, travel and do this and do that? By the time, we're old and barely capable of walking, you know what I mean? To try to finally, retire and enjoy our lives when, we barely can't even enjoy our lives probably at that point, because we so dang old that we can't barely do anything, can't see, barely could drive, you know what I mean, barely could walk, up the parking lot, or up, a trail, anything. So we were like, forget that, why wait? We're gonna do it now. So we decided, we sold our condo earlier this year, and we got a travel trailer, and that's where I'm at currently. We sold our townhouse back in May, and so now up to today in August. That's why y'all see that travel trailer back there, because I'm currently at a RV park in Colorado. So prior to us coming to this RV park in Colorado, I think it was like a month ago, we were at an RV park in Columbus, Georgia, called Lake Pines. And so basically, we were staying at this, this RV park, and it was very nice. The people were nice. They had nice setups. You know what I mean? They had nice setups for everybody. The grounds was clean. The park owners was really nice, and everything. And the lots were leveled, all the connections were clean for our travel trailer and everything. You know what I mean? Good water pressure. Definitely, y'all see me keep trying to show the face, right? But yes, very, very nice RV park. But the spot that we were parked in, it was directly in the sunlight. And any of y'all out there that's ever been in an RV or recreational vehicle or travel trailer, when it's hot outside and being directly in the sun, like, you could get cooked up in that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like being in a can. You know what I'm saying? Like being I'm silly too, y'all. Yeah, like being in a can. Like that's just sitting out in a parking lot in the middle of summer in the Georgia heat, on the concrete, just sitting there just cooking. And so, our air conditioner was struggling, trying to keep it cool. We even had a portable air conditioner. See, that don't make no sense. had a portable air conditioner. You know, and our air conditioners, you know, it just wasn't cutting it. You know what I mean? Especially for that Georgia heat. If you know, y'all know what I mean. And this is like, you know, not too long ago, we've been having some sweltering, blazing temperatures. You know what I mean? So we were just sitting in the sun, just, you know, being beat by the sun, just being cooked. You know, we trying to keep it cool, doing everything we can. So we eventually, you know, went and asked the owners of the RV park, you know what I mean, could we move up to a spot that was kind of further up the hill from where we were at, and kind of like in a wooded area, like in a shaded area. And they were nice. They was like, oh, no problem, you guys, we understand, you know, and nobody's going to be in that spot, you know, nobody's reserved it, you know, for y'all slide of time, whoop whoop whoop. So you know, and so we moved up there, and it was actually a pretty cool spot because it was kind of up the hill, you know, and it was kind of in like a wooded area, like, you know, and then the spot was on an end spot. So, you know, we were able to have the woods, you know, almost all around us, but not completely, just, you know, fully on the left and in the back, you know, the RV. And then there was an RV over to our right, but you know, all the other slots up there were empty. So it was kind of cool, you know. I actually liked it up there. It was like, you know, kind of like being in our own little treehouse, and it worked out because, you know, the next day the sun came back out. You know, we didn't feel it at all. We were completely shaded. You know, we were cool. We was sitting up in the shade in the trees, you know, just cool. RV stayed cool. So everything, you know, was good, going great. You know what I mean? And my spouse, you know, they work remote, you know, or whatever. And, you know, I was doing Uber or DoorDash, you know, when I could, depending on what city we were in at the time. It was busy enough. So, you know, it wasn't really busy for me with DoorDash or Uber or anything. So I had been in the trailer for, you know, a couple of days, just taking care of stuff, doing dishes, you know, taking care of the dog, cleaning up, cooking, stuff like that, while my spouse, you know, was most of the time working, you know, remote. And they were working back in the bedroom of our travel trailer, you know, most of the time. So I was out in the living room, you know, pretty much by myself, or a better term, I was kind of isolated for a while. But you know what, I didn't mind it really, you know. And growing up, I loved you know, being outside. I love nature. You know, I love being in the woods, you know, on the trails, on the bike trail with my friends, or down at the creek. You know, I just like, I love nature and being outside. So, you know, us being up there in that spot, it was like, you know, it was really nice to me, and like, you know, a piece of cake or a piece of heaven to me, just to be able to just kind of sit up there in our own, you know, world, in our own treehouse, and everything. Sit up there, you know, in our own treehouse, and you know, I would kind of just sometimes just kind of, you know, look out the windows, you know, because the windows on the RV or the travel trailer, you know, they're pretty big, you know, on the sides and the back and everything. So I was able to really just kind of be immersed into the woods and the forest up there, and just kind of look out at the beauty of nature and see trails and everything. And you know, and this I did this for about 2-3 days, you know, just, you know, watch TV, cleaning up, taking care of things, you know, admiring the beauty, wilderness, enjoying this new lifestyle for us. And so one day I was sitting up in the RV, you know, just doing what I do, admiring, you know, God's beauty and work in the nature and everything. All of a sudden this sparrow just flew up, you know, to the window to me, just out of nowhere, you know. And it was almost like I knew that it was for me, or I knew it was some kind of message. Like I just felt it in my soul, and the Lord just kind of, you know, spoke to me and was like, I am watching over you guys. I have you guys, you know, where you're at. Or let me put it this way, let me just speak, you know, kind of for myself at this point, because this is, you know, a personal experience that I went through. So, you know, I'm out there just, you know, in isolation, doing my thing in nature, just loving and enjoying it. And this sparrow flies up, and I immediately get the sense of the Lord saying, I'm watching over you, I'm protecting you and everything. And y'all know that song, his eye is on the sparrow, So I know he watches me. Sorry, I know that wasn't the best rendition, but y'all know where I'm going with this. So right when I got that, that revelation, a message from the Lord that he sent that sparrow there for me, as soon as it was, validated, confirmed, it flew off right after that. And so I kind of got into the spirit after that. It just really moved me and put me in the spirit, and I got in the Holy Spirit, a little bit. And so I turned on the radio to some inspirational music, uplifting music. I was just in the spirit, you know what I mean? And so I just really started getting in the spirit. And when I cut on the radio to listen to this, uplifting inspirational music, this station came on called K-Love. And I'm sure some of y'all have heard of it, familiar with that station. I'm sure some of y'all maybe even got goosebumps when I said that, because I know I did, because, it just turned on that station out of nowhere. And I started to listen, and the music they were playing, it was so inspirational and just filled with the spirit, and I just could not turn it off. And so I just started getting more in the spirit, listen to radio, just looking out the window. And the next thing you know, 2 cardinals fly up to the window. And they're not right at the window, but they're like on a little branch that's kind of, right across from where I'm at. Because like I said, we were back in the wood area and everything. And 2 of them at the same time flew and landed on this branch. And if, you guys have seen cardinals, y'all know how striking they are. And that vibrant red color is kind of piercing. And when you see them fly through the woods or the wilderness, to see that vibrant dart of red fly through the greenery and woods, it is amazing. And so when those 2 cardinals landed down on that branch, I already knew that it was a spirit. I already knew that, the Lord was speaking to me, and I just felt so happy about it, and enthused about it, because I knew that it was Jesus. I knew it was the Spirit talking to me. And then this really starts to get crazy, you guys. So these 2 cardinals are sitting on this branch, and they're facing me, but they're looking off every now and again, but they're both looking at me. And in the middle of these 2 cardinals, a sparrow flies and lands on the same branch in the middle of them. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I know this is you, Lord. I know this is you, Jesus. You're speaking to me. You're showing me things. I'm like, I know this is you, Lord. And I just felt so moved, and I felt like just like, in the spirit, the supernatural realm, that this was happening, because, it's very rare really to see cardinals, like that. You see them, but you only see them for a minute and they're gone. I heard they're messengers, the spirit realm are messengers from the Lord, and that's why they come, you see them and then they're gone. So to have those 2 land at the same time and have the sparrow fly up in the middle, that was it for me. I'm like, okay, I know this is a spirit. And once I knew that and it was confirmed, all 3 of those birds took off towards me in the trailer, and it's almost like they flew into the trailer, or like into me, is what it kind of seemed like. And after that happened, you guys, I was just like, I was moved. Like, I was just covered in the spirit. I was just like, I can't believe that just happened, to me, that the Lord showed me that, and it just starts to just escalate from there. So, once I saw that, the Lord showed me that vision, things just started to unfold from there. And so I started, I was just moved. So, I turned the inspirational K-Love up, and the spirit was just moving through the radio, and just the nature out there and everything. And the more and more I listened to, the inspirational music and everything, and was looking out at nature, connecting with nature and the spirit, and I was isolated at this time, and I feel like that's really important, because I've been hearing a lot about, being in isolation and being with oneself to really, gain some clarity and answers that, you may wonder about life and just in general, just about, what is our purpose? What is life? Like, what are we? Like, just so much, and it's true that, if you kind of just sometimes just go get to yourself and be by yourself, in a quiet place, or, I suggest even in nature, and just find a place and kind of just listen to the trees and the birds and just take it in and take a moment. And I feel like is what was happening to me in that moment, and the Lord was starting to speak to me and show me things because I was in the right place at the right time, in the right area, in the right mind state, in isolation, for him to use me and show me these things. So after the birds, they took off, I'm in the spirit. I turned the music up, everything. And I'm just looking out, at the wilderness out the window, and the wind is blowing and the trees are blowing, and everything. And I promise, I just start, seeing a cardinal there and a cardinal there, and there's just ripping, through the forest. And it's one of the most magnificent things you could ever see if you ever get the chance. And it was so powerful, it was moving. And you guys who are connected to the spirit and believers, y'all know what I'm talking about when the spirit speaks to you and things happen. So I see these cardinals, and they're ripping through, and it's like my spiritual ears, they come on with the music, you know what I mean? And I'm able to start hearing, certain sounds, in these inspirational songs. And I feel like that I'm, really connecting with the host at this time of that radio station, because they were kind of saying what I was feeling and confirming it. So in my mind, I just, almost like I started to hear like horns, almost like trumpet horns, or like horns, but kind of faint and in the background. You know what I mean? And if you have spiritual ears, you know what I'm talking about. And the ladies that were on the radio station that day, the host, they would just started just kind of confirming and validating what I was feeling. And they just started saying stuff like, to each other, like, oh yes, like, I could hear him in the spirit. And they started saying things like, oh, he's close, he's closer than ever. And they're talking about Jesus, because Jesus is back. Jesus, he's been back for a while now. And y'all chosen ones, my brothers and sisters, y'all know what I'm talking about. He's been back, and he's been working. But I started to get this feeling of like Jesus is like really, really, really close. And when I say close, I mean like, like reaching out, across the ocean, like almost could touch the coast of like California close, and I just kept feeling this overwhelming feeling of like, he is back, he has risen, like he is here, and this feeling just overwhelmed me, just everything in my being. I started to embody this and feel this in the spirit, and as all of this is happening, things just start to change. It seems like the horns or the trumpets or that horn sound that I'm hearing is getting stronger in the music, and the host on the show, K-Love, they keep, just saying things like, oh my God, like he's so close, like I could feel him like ever before, he's so close. And I was feeling the same thing in that moment. And as all this was going on, like I said, the wind was blowing in the trees, and it started to rain. It started to rain a little bit, you know what I mean? And and I just started getting more and more moved into the spirit. And so I started thinking back, like, when I was a child, and I would always hear about in church or in the spirit when my mom or grandmom talk about the storm and making it through the storm. And and so I just started, just tying the knots or connecting the dots with my childhood, and then this storm, that comes, and making it through the storm, and I was really feeling like that this was about to happen in this moment. The wind got stronger, the rain got harder, the radio got louder, the sirens, I'm sorry, not the sirens, the horns and the songs got louder, and I really felt in my spirit that Jesus was like really close. I mean, like maybe even to show up right then and there or that night. You know what I mean? And as I'm just, I'm starting to just get moved more and more in the spirit, and I just feel like, I'm like, oh my God, like maybe this is it, because I've been having all these signs and, things happen and messages and, like, what's going on, Lord? And so it's something inside of me that says I need to be a part of this storm or this battle. And so what I started doing is I started worshiping harder with the K-Love inspirational radio station. And I felt like, I was a part of this spiritual warfare. I was a part of this spiritual battle, and me worshiping in the spirit with these songs, I literally felt like I had power coming out of my fingertips, and I was just singing these songs, you guys, and just kind of like going back and forth, almost like this, and then some of y'all know, y'all remember like y'all mother, grandmother in church, rocking, almost like it's a storm. You know what I mean? And so I'm just worshiping and I'm rocking, and I'm really feeling like I'm fighting in the spirit, and I'm making a difference, and I'm a part of this battle. And this went on, just maybe for like an hour or two, and I just got more and more moved in the spirit. I think my spouse was back in the room. Like, I think I was scaring them, thinking, that the end time was here, or it was time, and everything. And this was real to me, you guys. This was real. And so the more and more I'm just worshiping and fighting in the spirit, my vision starts to change. And it's almost like the Lord opened my eyes, and I was able to see things for what they really were for this period of time. And what I started to see was, you guys, while this was going on, I started to see demons. Okay? And I know, some of y'all might think I'm crazy, or whatever, but it's not even about that or what anybody thinks about this, because I was called from the Lord to make this video. And y'all know what's funny? It's been a lot of stuff trying to stop me from making this video. It's been a lot of stuff. First thing was my own procrastination was the first thing. And then I just was, I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before last night, and I just was feeling crappy today. I was feeling really just crappy. I didn't feel good, but the Lord kept telling me, like, you need to share your testimony and you need to make this video. Like, what are you waiting on? Like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, I'm sitting, I'm laying in the bed, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel good. I'm like, let me, take a nap, Lord, and then I'm gonna make the video, when I get up. And the Lord's telling me, like, no, like, you need to stop procrastinating, and everything. And like, I don't know, I was just laying there, and it's like almost like I felt under attack. or something. You know what I mean? Under attack, like something was keeping me bound in the bed earlier, you know, making me feel sick and just terrible. And there's something on the other side telling me, get up, make these videos. You have the knowledge. God has shown you things. He is moving you to make this message right now for a reason, and you know that, and you're still not doing it. And so I've watched, you know, a lot of other people come forth and share their testimonies, you know, and the more and more I've watched, you know, it's really moved me, and I'm starting to realize some stuff, and, you know, things are starting to connect. And, you know, at that time when, you know, the Lord was showing me these things and letting me experience this, that He has chosen me for a bigger purpose. And, you know, whether I didn't understand it, you know, in the beginning and everything, you know, I do now. And there's been, you know, a lot of you guys out there that's been through the same thing, you know, and the Lord has moved you and spoke to you and put this on your heart heavy to put this out here, because this is serious. And I definitely want to give a shout out to Lala Jenkins. Sister, you are amazing. You are amazing. I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. We are in this fight together. And, you know, no bullies, no weapons, no darkness, no evil forces, no nothing can stop this. And don't get discouraged. People gonna always talk about you or try to knock you down and bully you, and that just means that you're doing something right. And you strong. You're strong. All of us are strong. Each and every one of you guys that's been making these videos, that the Lord has called you guys to make these videos, you all are strong and you all are chosen. And we all have been called for a reason. And it is time for us to rise up. And no matter what anybody else thinks about you or feels about you, or you get vibes from other people, or you could just feel stuff and it makes you feel uncomfortable, you know, just like even me trying to do this video now, like I feel like I had to come into the car to do it so I could really talk and not have any distractions. And I noticed, you know, for some of you that the car has been the safe place to do this, to do these videos, I've noticed. And so I take this as a sign, more signs. So, you know, a lot of us have been doing it in the car, and to me it shows, it's like a sign of it's time to move. Like, cars are known for moving forward. Cars are known for getting you from one point to the next point, you know. And I've noticed that a lot of us have been in the car doing it, so I take it as symbolism, as being in the vehicle, that God is going to move us and representation of us being in the vehicle. And also, I noticed another thing, and this didn't even happen on purpose for me today. I noticed that a lot of the chosen ones, or, you know, a lot of people who've been called to make these videos, a lot of y'all have been wearing this color, this bluish color. I think it's called like azul, or like a bluish color. And if y'all go back and watch a lot of the chosen ones videos, or y'all's videos, or this color seems to like show up a lot, you know. And I've noticed that. And before I did my video today, I had on a you know, like I said, I wasn't feeling good earlier, you know, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get on here looking a mess, you know, and everything. But I'm like, it ain't even about that. It's not even about what we see and what we perceive in this world. None of that's important. So I said, I'm getting up and I'm doing this. And the devil, you are not going to keep me bound in this bed and sick. And so I had on a blue shirt, as y'all could see before I started this video. And I ain't gonna lie, I was eating earlier and I spilled some stuff on it. I don't know, I don't even remember what it was, some noodles or something like that. And so I had a stain on it. So I was like, okay, I'm getting ready to go do this video. So I was like, let me cover up this shirt with the stain on it. And this was the first thing I thought to throw on, you guys. And look what color it is. And look what it has on it. The faith. And that's what this is all about. And I'll also show you guys the back of it. And I know y'all probably couldn't see it. I'm sure y'all probably couldn't see it too good, but I'll show you the whole thing on another video. And I received this hoodie for my birthday as a gift. Jamie, that's me. Woo-hoo. But yes, so I started to notice the comparisons with us, you guys. So let me get into this testimony. So, you know, I'm starting to see, and I'm not, while this is going on, while I'm in the trailer, I'm worshiping, you know, it's starting to rain and storm, and, you know, I'm just in the spirit. And when I say I saw demons, you guys, I don't mean that I saw actual demons, but the Lord did allow me to see the energy around me and around, you know, the place I was in, and just let me see the energy for what it was. And you guys, I really couldn't comprehend this at first. Basically, the energy that is all around each and every one of us is demonic than a mug. And when I say, I mean demonic energy everywhere, in the trees, coming up out of the grounds. I see demonic energy coming out of the TV. I see demonic energy in some food I was going to prepare later that day. I was getting ready to make some ribs, I believe, some spare ribs in the oven. And when I took that meat out, you guys, that package, and I looked at it, I could literally see demonic energy in the meat. It almost looked like somehow that they have released demonic energy into the meat, into the land, into the tree, into everything. And when I say they, the enemy, and I'm going to get into that next, and where this is, and what this is really, you know, about as well. I literally could see things for what they were. And when I say, y'all, it was not pretty, and it was just so demonic. I mean, just demonic energy over everything. And, you know, when I'm starting to see these things, you know, I'm starting to trip out. I'm like, what is going on? Like, am I tripping? Like, what is going on? And I hadn't, you know, did anything, you know, that day. Like, I hadn't drank or anything. I haven't took anything or whatever. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, you know, I did you know, smoke a little bit, you know, earlier that day, but you know, I have been smoking for a while, so, you know, smoking, you know, a little herb here and there, it never really, you know, altered my state of mind or my vision like that, where, you know, I saw stuff. Like, I've been basically, you know, I was a recreational professional smoker, but, you know, only in my spare time. But, you know, so I was in my right mind, you know, just as I always am, you know, and I'm just doing my thing, and this just kind of hit me and came out of nowhere, the spirit. So I don't really think it was, you know, it would have mattered what mind state I was in or anything. This message was for me. And so, you know, I'm looking at the meat, and it's almost like I could see little demons, like, in the meat, you guys. I put this on my life. And it was so disturbing and so like I threw the whole rack of ribs away, like like I couldn't even eat it if that was the last thing to eat on earth, being able to see what I saw. And like I said, I saw demons like in the trees. It looks like demons was coming out of like the earth, like trying to reach up, but they were still halfway in the ground, you know. And then I was looking at other, you know, people's trailer or RVs in that RV park at the time, and I could see almost like demons that was like demonic energy or really bad like demonic spirits attached to these people in their RV, or just demons everywhere. I mean, just everywhere. And I could see these things. The Lord allowed me to see these things. And, you know, so I just kind of just, you know, was just taking it all in, you know, trying to okay, edit this. Okay. All right. My bad, you guys. The iPad fell, messed it up. But yes, so I could see these things, and so I'm really just kind of just trying to, you know, interpret what I'm seeing and like try to understand what's going on, because I'm like, I really don't understand what's going on, and it continued to go on. I just continue to see this demonic energy over everything, you know, and so I really, and I was already, you know, being spoken to by the spirit, you know, and everything. And so I just, you know, I was just in the spirit and moved, and I just kept worshiping, you know, feeling like that, you know, and, you know, I kind of already knew there's spiritual warfare going on. But I felt like it was getting really intense, and it was coming, you know, to a head, you know, or that Jesus really could show up, you know, at this moment. And so I started getting prepared, you know. I'm like, I started getting excited. I'm like, you know, my Savior's coming, my King, he's coming to save, you know, me out of this demonic place that I see, you know, all around me. And, you know, and so I'm starting to get excited. I even started, my spouse had purchased me this rose in a glass, a red rose in a glass globe like this or whatever. And, you know, it was like the first thing I saw to put out on the porch for when Jesus comes, you know, as his gift for him coming, you know, and I wanted to have something for him. So I put that out on the steps that night, you know, and just went to bed, you know, kind of try to calm down from, you know, everything I was seeing and stuff, and kind of just went to bed. And so I woke up the next morning, thank you, Jesus, giving me breath and life. And I realized, I'm like, okay, he didn't come. You know what I mean? I'm like, he didn't come. But I was still able to see in the spirit when I woke up. I was still able to see the same things, same, you know, demon looking faces in the trees, in the ground, you know, just in certain things and everything. And so I kind of just, you know, opened the blinds back up and just kind of looked back out into nature and just waited, you know, for more signs, you know, from the Lord, you know, about what's going on. Like, I was so connected in the spirit and, you know, in this nature that I was in, and I'm just waiting for more signs and more messages. And you know, the day's going on, spouse is, you know, back in the back working again. And next thing you know, Beyonce comes on. Beyonce comes on TV, or I don't know if I was watching YouTube videos for a minute or what had happened. And while I was still in this state of mind where I was able to see the demonic energy, I started to see some things that just blew me away about her that I never saw before, or I just, like, it just never dawned on me. I just never, like, saw, like, so a video of hers came on recently. I don't know if it was, I guess, you know, the beginning of her first Renaissance concert that she did on her tour. Maybe it was the first one, I'm not sure. And so when I was watching it, the Lord told me, the Spirit slow this thing down. Like slow this thing all the way down. Like pump the brakes, on this and just see what's going on, because something in the spirit was telling me to do that. And this is like her sitting up on that horse, and everything. I'm not really seeing anything. I'm not paying attention. Like I'm not, catching anything. Everything looks normal. Her on the horse, whoop to whoop to whoop. So I slow it all the way down, like down to 0.25. And once I did that, I believe it was towards the end of her performance or concert. She was up on a horse and she was talking to the crowd in the concert. But when you slowed it down, I promise you guys, I heard her saying stuff that you wouldn't believe. And the people I told afterwards, they didn't believe me. But I know what I heard, and I know what the Lord let me hear. So basically, what I heard was her basically casting a spell on people unknowingly, with them unknowingly, though she's doing it, because if she's doing this spell, sitting up on this horse with this rod, and everything, having this persona like she's some type of god, like, it's so good to be back. It's been some years. And I'm like, okay, like, who do you think you is, like, talking like you just some big, chief or something like that. Like, don't get me wrong, Beyonce is Beyonce, and she done her thing. But, things are different now. So, I'm just like, who? So, basically, the spell that she's casting on people, they do it in a way where if you speed it up, it just sounds like a regular song and just some regular lyrics to a song. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't catch it. You wouldn't catch it right then. And I'll go back on this. We'll retouch on this. What particular song it was. But when I slowed it all the way down, I heard some things. And I heard her say to the crowd, I'm so happy that he died. And once I heard that, I started to feel some type of way. I'm like, okay, this stuff is coming through clear when I slow it down. This is not a coincidence. So I heard, I'm so happy that he died. I also heard that she was telling everybody in that concert that I hope you leave here feeling this in a downward spiral. Downward spiral is what I heard, you guys, in the spirit. And then I heard some more stuff, and I could almost feel it through the screen, and it was like backbreaking. Like she was casting spells on people, and I could feel it. And once I had that revelation the Lord showed me, y'all, it just broke my heart. It broke my heart to know that that's what maybe she's been doing for a while now, and we don't even know. And it just like, it broke my heart, because I'm like, all these people here to support you, support your craft, and they look up to you and everything, and you sitting up there breaking them down, putting spells on them, breaking these people down, letting demons out through your energy and what you're doing. And when I was going through this, you guys, I had to question myself, like, maybe I'm just tripping. But the Lord said no, because I had already been in the spirit. I had already been in an anointing where the Lord was opening my eyes and showing me stuff. So I know this was a part of it as well. And everything happens for a reason. So he told me to slow it down, and I did. And once I heard that, it just changed everything that I knew about Beyonce, because I know what I heard. And this is what put me on to game, is that first video when I slowed it down and I heard her, and I'm like, it sounds like that she's like casting spells on people or doing something that it's not right. Like something ain't right, you know. And she's saying this stuff, and you know, she's sitting up on that horse, and she's like, "It's so good, it's so good, it's so good." And I'm just like, some of the stuff she's saying, it just ain't making no sense. Just like some of her songs don't make no sense. If y'all go listen to some of them, like one of her songs where she goes, you know, what is it? Girls who run the world. And before I knew the truth, I liked her songs. I like all Beyonce songs. Who run the world? All of that. And there's a part in the song where she goes, "Do anything for me." And it never dawned on me, like, what in the world does that have to do with girls run the world? You know, it just didn't fit once I started to get this clarity. And so, one of her last concerts on this Renaissance tour, I don't know what city it was in, you guys. I'm not sure, but it was a part where, you know, she was singing. It was Diva, or she started off, you know. And I'm gonna show y'all this footage that I, you know, seen. I'm gonna back it up with some footage, but I'll just tell you about it now. This is my first video, you know, doing this. But I'll show you some footage. So she starts to go into ladies, girls. I wanna meet her. I came to see her. What you said? And she has the crowd saying, "She ain't no diva," like that or whatever. And you know, I swear while this is going on, y'all, I could literally see horns like coming out of her hair, or her hair was, for some reason, two parts of her hair kept going in the shape of horns, just naturally, and it was weird. And I'm like, okay, so this song Diva or whatever, if you listen to the lyrics, she says, I want to see her. I came to meet her. What you said? She ain't no diva. Like, what are you talking about? Who ain't no diva? Because you didn't really mention any other body or any lady or woman in that song. So, who are you talking about when you say, what you said, she ain't no diva? Who? Who? You? No. You said that you was a diva. A female version of you. So when you say what you said, she ain't no diva, who are you talking about? That don't make no sense. So then my spiritual ears came on. And if you really listen to it, I think she's trying to get the people on her side to kind of prove her case or whatever, you know, because y'all know y'all been hearing a lot about her being like a witch or doing witchcraft and demonic stuff lately, which is true. It's true. It's true, you guys. I didn't believe it myself until the Lord showed me, you know, and that's how Satan works. The wolf in sheep's clothing. You'll never see him coming. And behind the beauty and the voice. And that's why it's so hard for people to believe this stuff. A wolf in sheep's clothing. Do not be fooled. Do not be deceived by a wolf in sheep's clothing. Please do not continue to fall for this mess. But let me get back to it. So I start to use my spiritual ears, and I'm like, hold up. She wants them to sing it or whatever because she wants them to back her up and trying to, you know, back her up on, you know, saying she's not a demon. So basically, to me, what if you hear it and a lot of people sing it together, it sounds like what she's trying to get her people, or, you know, the fans to say is, I came to see her. I came to meet her. What you said? She ain't no demon. And I know that's not the lyrics. But if you listen to it when a bunch of people singing, it sounds like that's what they're singing. It sounds like, I came to see her, I came to meet her, and she's saying that to, prove to people like, I want to meet her, I came to see her, she ain't no demon, I came to see her. And then, they say, what you said, she ain't no demon, okay? And that's what, I feel like that's what it's really meant for, because saying she ain't no diva don't make no sense in that song, okay? You know what I'm saying? And then, so she does that, and then she goes and starts to sing, in the diva, like that. And the screen changes behind her, like to a weird blue color, and she starts to look unhuman a little bit to me, if you ask me, or whatever. And her voice, don't get me wrong, her voice when she starts to sing this diva part is beautiful. Like it's amazing. It's out of this world. But it's so beautiful and so out of this world. I'm like, ain't no way that, like something ain't right about this. And the reason why I'm like, it could be a blessing from the Lord. A lot of people are blessed from the Lord with gifts. And, to be able to sing, and be a blessing to all of us. And that's a gift, the Lord gave us, the gift of music and, the voice, a beautiful voice and everything. But with that weird looking screen behind her and her looking a little unnatural and a little alien demonic-ish during this time, and I know she did that on purpose, that's why she changed the screen or whatever, but it was almost like it was not even her real voice that was coming out or whatever. And I'm like, you know what, this is all lining up with, this witch stuff, this witchcraft stuff, you know what I mean? And using supernatural witchcraft or dark supernatural powers to pretty much brainwash, manipulate people, put on this false image and have such a captivating voice to draw people in and then get them brainwashed and pretty much under hypnosis. And I know y'all seen some videos of her standing up on stage, with this staff with a hypnotized screen behind her at her concerts, and wearing a helmet with horns on it, like she's, the master of the demons or goats, saying these same things, do anything for me, with this hypnotized thing behind her, and people don't even realize what's happening. Like she literally has probably been putting us under these weird spells or something that's unnatural that she has been practicing here lately. And a lot of people say that, she made a turn once she met Jay-Z, and I could believe that, you know what I mean? And she just really got into some bad stuff and dark stuff, and I feel like that she kind of got carried away with it. Like, I mean, like she enjoyed it a little too much and realized like, oh my God, like magic is real, like, or the stuff that she was probably getting introduced to, and she became infatuated with it, and she started going more and more into this dark magic or energy and starting to find out stuff about stuff that we're not even supposed to know nothing about, tapping into stuff that we are not supposed to be tapping into, you guys. And so, and that's what I figure they do out there in Hollywood anyway, and in the industry, they're doing stuff out there, like some weird stuff, Hollywood, doing weird stuff. And so once, she gets kind of introduced to these things and she starts to blow up. She starts to blow up and everything. And I guess she's starting to just love the power she's feeling or the fame or whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop or what have you. And I always had this friend. I had a friend named Jody. That he used to, and he was a big fan of Madonna. And he would and you know how they were saying, like, you know, Madonna was the queen, you know, and everything, and basically like the queen of darkness, or their queen at the time, like she was at the top. And don't get me wrong, I like Madonna, or I liked Madonna. I liked a lot of her songs, you know what I mean? Papa Don't Preach, Papa Don't, you know, like, who didn't like Madonna, grow up with her? So as I got older and I started to, you know, get more enlightened, and, you know, my discernment got stronger, I started to realize, you know, Jody was saying she was the queen. A lot of people said she was the queen, but they were saying she was the queen for a reason. Basically, you know, they kind of meant that, you know, she was the queen of them out there in Hollywood, or basically the queen of darkness, or the queen of demons, you know what I mean? And what my friend used to say is, if Beyonce wanted to be like that, like Madonna, and be the queen, she could, if she wanted to. And you know what I mean? I never understood, you know, what that meant or whatever. I never understood, you know, what that meant when he would say that, like, she could be, you know, the queen, or, you know, whatever. And now I get it. Now I get it. I get it. Cause what it seems like what's happened to me is, she just was enjoying just this magic and, you know, darkness and fame and power so much. Y'all, if y'all noticed over the several years, we've lost a lot of good music artists. You know, it's almost like they either just got killed, you know what I mean, or just got, like, it's just like they disappeared. Like, I mean, so many like good music artists that we had, in the good music, it just slowly just dwindled away, you guys. Just dwindled away. Like, you know, and everything started to become more like, you know, provocative and bang bang, shoot 'em up, get high, popping mollies, you know, Beyonce and Jay-Z on top, and then anything under kind of just was dissipating. And, you know, the music just started just becoming just, you know, just the same thing. And these flash in the pan rappers and artists, you know, here for a couple months, then they gone. And then all the music sound the same, ain't talking about nothing. It just seems like everything just started to just change. Social media, you know, became really big and everything. Social media became really big. You know, things just started to just take a big shift or whatever. And so back to the Queen thing, when he was saying that, you know, Beyonce could be where Madonna was if she wanted to, if she wants to. I just never understood when he was like, if she wanted to, she could. And I'm like, okay, I never know what that meant. But now I do know what it means. I think Beyonce got so far into darkness, into practicing stuff she shouldn't be doing, and became infatuated with it, and the power that she really started to believe that she was some type of God, or she's some type of God or something. And I feel like for you to have that type of power and fame and following, and just what you're doing and having that, and, you know, and clearly we know that, you know, you're not singing about Jesus, you're not singing about the Lord. You know, you barely ever hear her sing about that. Or if she did, you know, it was a front. You know what I mean? She never really would say Jesus, you know, the Lord, but she likes to say spirit a lot. You know what I mean? If you catch my drift. And so I feel like that, you know, I've heard some other artists say, you know, that's out there in Hollywood in the darkness, that their queen has been overthrown. Basically talking about Madonna. And now their new queen is Beyonce. and took that probably the darkest place or the darkest spot that you could ever go in the industry. She willingly took on that and took Madonna's place off the throne of wickedness and evil. And she now, you know, is their queen, Queen B. And I know y'all have heard this before, you know, when a witch coven, you know, becomes a little too big and out of control, it becomes into a hive, the beehive. Come on now, y'all. All this stuff ain't coincidences. Please don't be fooled. Please do not be deceived. A wolf in sheep's clothing. Open your eyes and see this. And y'all know that God made Satan, you know, one of the first angels he created, very special and beautiful. He had the gift of music, and he was beautiful, and he, you know, probably had a beautiful voice. Hello? Ringing any bells? The wolf in sheep's clothing. And please do not be fooled, you guys, by this. And it was hard for me to believe. This was really hard for me to believe as well, because, you know, I grew up hearing Beyonce. Everybody knows Beyonce. Everybody grew up, and there's a lot of other artists that I'll touch on another time that is a part of this darkness and this cult, and it's all about power and money and just, you know, just evil and darkness just to have this power. And there's a lot more that's a part of it that I'm sure y'all have heard. I'm sorry, y'all, this video is long. I'm gonna try to get through it. This is my first video. I would like you guys to subscribe to my new channel, hit the like button in this video. Like I said, this is my first video, so bear with me. You know, I'm sure I'll get better at this. And like I said, shouts out to Lala Jenkins. What you're doing is wonderful, and you are part of the reason why I was really even more able to get out here and do this today, because you were working through the spirit and saying, like, come on, like you have been a big motivator for me, Lala, and I thank you, and I love you, sister, and I hope you stay blessed. And everybody else, let me see if I can shout out some names. Tiffany Montgomery, the prophet. Let me see. There's so many more of you out there, and I will recognize each and every one of you in my other videos. But I really reference Lala Jenkins because she really, you know, has put a big imprint on my heart and moved me working through the spirit and through the Lord. And like I said, Lala, continue doing what you're doing. Forget the bullies. It's been so many things trying to stop me from making this video today. First, just the sickness, being in the bed and kind of like being held, bound. And then when I came out here the first time to do this video, there was no sound. I had done this video before already, and the whole video, there was no sound. And then right before I did that video, it was like people started walking by, then the phone car rang, you know, and there's not even a phone in the car, it's in the trailer. And then my spouse came out. It's so much stuff that's been trying to stop this. And I told myself and the Lord, there's nothing that's gonna stop this. This is happening. And there's been, you know, maybe people around at other RVs and trailers probably wondering what I'm doing or whatever. But guess what? I do not care at all. And nor will I be intimidated or scared or care about what somebody else thinks about what I'm doing or what have you. But I'm very intuitive, and the Lord has blessed me with my discernment to be very strong. And so I could feel when somebody is trying to keep tabs on me or trying to figure stuff out, come out here drinking a beer, acting like you looking at your connections and stuff. Anyway, I know better, because they just stood there, pointed my way, drinking a beer, just standing there. I'm like, all right, now you done pulled your tanks and checked your connections. Like, what are you doing? You just standing there staring with a beer, you know, looking like a country bumpkin. But let me stop. let me stop y'all, because I'm really, trying to walk in this new, found self that the Lord has, opened me up to, and I feel so blessed. Thank you, Jesus. And really, I thank God for saving me, y'all, because I'm gonna continue my story, and I'm gonna finish my testimony. Um, so yeah, you guys, Beyonce, um, she's on this tour right now, or whatever, on this world tour, and the reason why she has portals on all of her sets on this Renaissance tour. There's portals on each one of her sets in each city. And the reason why this is because she is releasing demons out into the world, into this country, into the cities, through that portal and the demonic energy, and through her songs and through the witchcraft. And that's why there's a portal on each one of her stages. And that's why earlier in my testimony, I told you guys that I was able to see the energy, and for what it was, and it's so demonic, is because there's been people like her, and who knows, God else, I'll get into another time, that's been putting so much demonic energy out into the world and onto people, and casting demons on the people, and trying to keep us broken down and bound so they could stay on top and keep the money and power, and keep us down here bound, and keep demons to keep us oppressed and oppressed. And that's why everybody's walking around, unhappy. Everybody's, gloomy eyed. Everybody's uncertain, about the future. Everybody's like, what is going on in the world? Like all this crazy stuff. And this is why, you guys, there's the enemy that's out there. Who would have ever thought that when you heard about, the Bible and, God and Jesus talking about, the enemies out there in the world and the dark forces and how they'll come against you and everything, I wouldn't have never thought in my mind that it was the people that was in the industry or in the music industry, or people we look up to, or people we grew up watching or listening to their music. I wouldn't have never in my life thought that that is who he is talking about. Is them out there, the deities of the world, the dark Wiccans and warlocks and witches of the world. Who would have ever thought that it's them? P. Diddy, Beyonce, Jay-Z. Like, that's what the Lord is talking about, and that's them. Because growing up, I just thought it was like, okay, there's gonna be, wicked people in the world, and just, evil forces out in the world, and which there is. But this war against the unrighteous and the darkness, I wouldn't have never guessed in a million years that it would be the people that we worship, or not worship, but that we idolized, and we know all the words to their songs, and that we grew up with, listening to on TV, basing up some of our styles around them, like everything. And the whole time, that is the enemy that the Lord has been talking about, the wolf in sheep's clothing. And that's why nobody will ever believe that it is. And some people still won't believe this. And that's why I feel like the Lord is calling myself and others to put these messages and warnings out here that these things are real. These things are really happening in real time. And, I know lately, y'all have heard that, time is moving faster. Like, things are changing. Things just aren't the same anymore. You know what I mean? And how I was talking about earlier, how the Lord, he's back. He's up. He has risen. And he is working his magic. And I'm going to go back into my testimony in just a minute. He's up. And they know it. They know it. They know that their time It's limited. Y'all remember Madonna always talking about tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Time goes by so slowly for those who wait. It sure does. It sure does. And it can go even slower, and we'll never stop waiting. But y'all who run, y'all seem to have all the fun. Tick tock, tick tock. Y'all running out of time. Y'all always notice why these artists keep talking about time, because they know their time is almost up. Listen to The Weeknd. I'm running out of time, because I can see the sun light up the sky. So I hit the road and who else is talking about time? Like I said, Madonna, time goes by so slowly. Justin Bieber says it. Young blood thinks there's always tomorrow. Who else is talking about time? That song came out with Wizkid, Essence. You don't need no other body. In the beginning of that song, she's like, I feel it coming. Time is of the essence. That's what they're talking about, you guys. They know that their time, is almost up. And if y'all go back and you know what, that's so much I gotta share. I'm gonna try to stay on topic. But yeah, you guys, so that's why, Beyonce is doing this world tour Renaissance at the last minute, trying to go all over the place and to spread as many more demons out into the world as she can before the time is up, to try to bring more souls to hell with them and with her. And you don't have to believe me. Like I said, maybe this ain't for you, but the ones that it's for, listen to me. Listen to, others like me that are saying this. This is real. This is the Lord sounding the alarm, you guys. And that's why, she's doing this tour all of a sudden, at the last minute, trying to go everywhere, and with these portals spread more demons. And y'all know what just happened at the last Travis Scott concert at Astro World, when he had portals on stage and people died, people felt like they was in hell. They're not putting this stuff up there for no reason, y'all. This stuff is real. Believe it. Just how you believe that you here right now and breathing and living, just as these things are real. Just because you can't see them does not mean that it is not real. Okay? Don't be deceived, you guys, by this. Just because you can't see what's going on don't mean it ain't happening. Okay? And so, there and then who else all of a sudden want to go on tour real quick? Was it Madonna? Oh, now she want to go on the tour real quick too? That's what I heard, that she's trying to go on the tour real quick after she just got out of the hospital from some infection that she had, and now she's going on this world tour. Guess who else? Taylor Swift. Going on tour right now. Y'all wonder why? And there's been folks saying that they're having amnesia after going to her concerts on this tour. So y'all think all of this stuff is happening just coincidentally. And then they all want to be wearing witches' cloaks up on stage, doing weird stuff. They're not doing this stuff for no reason. They spend a lot of money in their set and their performances and how it goes, and they put a lot into it. And so for them to be putting that stuff out there, it means something, you guys. And like people always say, they love their symbolism. They love throwing little stuff out there, hidden messages and symbolism, but a lot of us could discern right through that and see right through it and break out little silly codes, and it's pathetic. Okay, it's silly. And for y'all to sit up there and think that y'all are really in control and y'all have this much power, laugh now, cry later. And I'm not talking about every single person that's out there in Hollywood or in the industry, because some of them, I believe, really wanted, to go out there and make music and to be famous and they just kind of got swept into the darkness and are being held against their will. A lot of them. And they've been blowing dog whistles for a long time. but everybody think that they're just songs and love songs. But if you go back, you could go back like since maybe you were a teenager and start listening to a lot of these songs these artists have been putting out, and all along they have been blowing dog whistles. They have been being held under these contracts, under these agreements, and being bound and held against their will and made to do things they normally wouldn't do, or they didn't get into this industry, for this. And one of those songs that stuck out to me was like Rihanna. When she came out, you know what I mean? Rihanna, everybody love Rihanna. It goes one by one, even two by two. And, at some point, like I said, once they start getting more exposed to, Hollywood or the industry, they start coming in encounters with things and, maybe making some wrong decisions. So I think, it was around the time that she met Jay-Z, or she did that song with Jay-Z, Umbrella, or whatever. But it was like after that, it's like she took a dark turn. And two songs of hers that really stuck out to me. I'm sorry, y'all, I can't stay on topic. Two songs that really stuck out to me were Disturbia. Your mind is in Disturbia. It's like the darkness in the light. Disturbia. Am I scaring you tonight? Ain't used to what you like. Disturbia. And y'all probably think she's just talking about just, random stuff, just the word. No, she's talking about the industry. And then she did it again. She made SOS. And everybody know what SOS means. Somebody help me. It's not healthy for me to feel this way. Oh, you are making this hard. You got me tossing and turn. I can't sleep at night. SOS, please somebody help me. And if y'all go back and listen to a lot of these artists, a lot of them have been saying these things, blowing dog whistles, because they can't just come out and just ask for help or say anything, because the people that's over them, had them under contract, are watching them and they're monetizing them. And like Kanye West said, monetize and traumatize and keep them there and just make millions off of them while they basically don't get anything. And in the meanwhile, worship all this dark energy and magic to keep the people under wraps or under these spells, so we could just keep spending our money and keep worshiping these false idols. But like they've been crying out for help. Look at Miley Cyrus. Prisoner, locked up, can't get you off my mind. Lord knows I tried 1,000,000 times. Why can't you just let me go? She's talking about the industry in that video. Y'all go watch the video and put two and two together. And then she just came out with another song recently, her flowers. I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand. Write my name in the sand. And a lot of people, when they're stranded or something like that, they write SOS in the sand. And y'all could say, maybe I'm just reaching with this, but say what you will. I know what I'm talking about. And she says, I could buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours. Some things you just don't understand. Okay? And there's a lot of other artists. In The Weeknd, I don't know why I run away. Ooh, I make you cry when I run away. He's talking about running away from them out in Hollywood, but he don't know why he run away, because he know they gonna pull him back. Go watch the video, you guys. Then he got this other song, Save Your Tears for Another Day. I'm sure y'all know what he's talking about. Laugh now, cry later. Save your tears for another day. And they're basically, trying to you know, inspire each other and tell each other's gonna be okay, because they're in these situations and all they have is each other. And you know, even like Ariana Grande, no tears left to cry. No more tears left for her to cry, you know, because the situation she in. So she picking it up, you know, and she just gonna you can't beat them, join them. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm in a state of mind. I wanna be like y'all go watch these videos and listen to what they're saying, you guys. And then there's another one with Ariana Grande, which is like midnight. I'm sorry, y'all. I get emotional. I get emotional about some of these topics and these artists and these people, because I know they're going through hell, these artists, and you can see the pain in a lot of their faces. And that's why they, you know, turn to drugs, you know, to numb the pain, or, you know, stay skinny and all of that. And in her song, she says, midnight shadows, we're finding love is a battle with daylight so close. Don't you worry about a thing, cause we're gonna be alright. Yep, that's what she's talking about, you guys. That's what she's talking about. You know, and The Weeknd, he has a lot of songs about it. When I look at you in your eyes, I see there's something burning inside you. Oh, you try to. Oh, you try to hide the pain. Oh, you try to look the other way. You know exactly what to say, but I can see it in your eyes, And he's talking about, you know, other artists that's done stuff that he's talking about. When I look at you in your eyes, I can tell there's something burning inside. And he says when it's all said and done, he don't want to know. Because a lot of them, they may know their fate or where they may be headed. And, you know, so he says, when I look at you in your eyes, I can tell what you've done. Because he's done it too. And y'all wonder why, you know, he's changed his look, and Madonna changed her look and everything, you know, because they don't even want to look at themselves anymore. You know what I mean? And so back to Beyonce. Yeah, and if y'all wonder why Beyonce is always wearing like some kind of shiny disco or reflective diamond. Y'all heard that song, Diamonds on My Neck, Fighting Demons. And I'm like, when I heard that song, and I'm like I said, I liked Beyonce before I knew the truth. And I know this wasn't even too long ago. You a king already, shine already, you a king, you know that. And in the lyrics she says, you know, diamonds on my neck, fighting demons off. And I'm sure everybody was like, oh, that's cool, she's cool, da 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 da. But now I know the truth in that. I'm like, why would she say that? Let me tell y'all. Why do y'all think her whole Renaissance tour or Beyonce's thing has her wardrobe, her stage background, everything has been like a disco reflective material? And when she says she's wearing diamonds on her neck, fighting demons off, because demons don't want to see their own reflection, okay? They hate to see their own reflection. So that's why she's always has disco balls, wearing, you know, shiny diamond stuff, wearing diamonds, fighting demons off. Cause the more, and so if y'all go back and look at, you know, her tour she's doing now and a lot of her stuff, that's why she's always wearing some type of reflective diamond type of, you know, because demons they can't stand their own reflection. Almost in like some of those scary movies where they say, you know, no mirrors in their house. The house is haunted, no mirrors, because it maybe us upsets the spirits or the demons or whatever, you know. I got that from Skeleton Key, but I know it's the same thing. It's the same kind of thing. And that's why y'all could go look for yourselves. Like even now with her Baphomet horse that she's up on at these Renaissance tour with the pentagram and the Baphomet in the front of the horse, with her sitting up high, thinking she's a god with all this reflective diamond stuff everywhere, fighting demons off because she knows that they're conjuring up demons, and you know they need these demons to keep them on top and to keep them fueled and to cast them out, just doing all kind of nasty reckless stuff out into the world and spreading darkness. And this is where this is going, y'all. And let me get back to my testimony. So what starts to happen to me is when I was going through that spiritual battle in the trailer, when I was seeing all the demonic energy and everything, you know, and this was the next day, the day after, you know, the night I thought Jesus come back that night. So this was the next day, and I'm still seeing, you know, all the demonic energy, you know, around everything, you know, and then, you know, I'm looking out the window, I'm seeing demons like on people's trailer, and it's not, to me, real demons, it's the energy, the demonic energy. And so, you know, and it just starts to intensify for me. And, you know, I really felt like that Jesus, you know, like things just start to get real intense. Like, you know, the demons and the visions I was seeing and energy, it got real intense and strong. And I really felt like that Jesus could come in a minute. And when I was thinking that, I heard it sound like it was a cardinal, because they have a very distinct chirp or sound. You could, you know, distinctively, you know, distinguish them from any other birds because they have a distinguished chirp. And so right when I was thinking, like, you know, like Jesus is here or he's about to come or something's gonna happen, I heard a cardinal outside, right outside our window or by my front door of the trailer, and it's that chirp, 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 like it was sounding the alarm, you know. And I was in this state of mind in the spirit realm, so I was like, oh my God, like it's time, like Jesus is coming. And so I run outside, you know, I have the glass robe, I mean the rose, the red rose, in the globe that I had left out the night before. I have that with me, and I sit on the steps and I kind of go out into in front of the trailer, like kind of on a gravel road, and my vision just really starts to change, you guys. Like I'm seeing so much in the spirit realm. I'm seeing demons everywhere, like just, you know, on this, or the demonic energy on this and this. And I noticed that things are changing and it's starting to get really hot. I mean, like really hot outside. I mean, like, okay, like something is not right. Something is going on. You know what I mean? Something's going on. My vision's changing. It seems like stuff outside is starting to slow down. My breathing's starting to slow down. I'm breathing heavy. My mouth is dry. It's getting really hot outside, you know. And so I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, this is it. I'm like, Jesus is coming. And so I'm still seeing, you know, in the energy realm, the spirit realm. And so what I start to see is the sun come closer and closer to the earth. I mean, it's so close. Like, I'm like, okay, this is why it's getting so hot. This is why it's getting so hot outside. You know, I'm like, Jesus is here, the sun is here. And what I was seeing, you guys, up in the sky was basically, you know, I felt like this was it. Jesus is here. Like, this is the rapture, you know, everything, you know, this earth is about to just burn up and catch on fire. And if you're not a believer in Jesus, then you're just gonna get left here and get burnt. You know, if you don't believe in Jesus and follow him. So in my mind, this is what the Lord is showing me outside. And in my mind, this is real. This is really happening to me, you guys. And so I feel like, you know, that I'm finna be saved because Jesus spoke to me earlier, you know, in the woods and just through nature and the spirit, that I was gonna be saved and I will be found. Like, you know, when the time comes, you guys, like, just hold on. You will be found. Even when the storm comes crashing in, or no matter what happens, just hold on. You will be found. So, you know, it's just getting hotter, and, you know, I'm looking up at the sky now, and I'm seeing like the sun is so close and it's approaching my way. And I notice it's getting hotter. And some of the people in the RV park, it seems like that they were starting to turn. You know what I mean? Some of them. When I say turn, it's like they were becoming angry, you know, at the situation that was unfolding. And they were looking at me saying, oh, well, he has a crucifix on, or he has a cross, we should have got one, or, you know, saying stuff like, you know, like almost like getting mad at each other. It's getting hotter, you know what I mean? And I see the sun getting closer, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is about to go down. And I felt like I had some kind of power or authority over the situation when it was getting hotter out there. The light, you know, it was turning red. The sun was getting closer. And those who I feel like that maybe aren't saved, you know, I feel like I had some kind of authority or power over them, as far as they couldn't touch me. They could not do anything to me. I had the power at that time. And not over everybody, but some of the you know, like I said, I could see in the spirit, so I could see things for, you know, what they really were. So if there were people who weren't saved, I just made that word up, not word, who weren't saved, you know, or in Jesus or whatever, I could kind of see the demonic energy around them. It was strong, and it was getting more, you know, stronger as these things were unfolding. The sun was coming closer, and it was getting hotter, and I could hear them through the spirit saying, you know, like getting mad at me. I think some of them threw some rocks at me, you know, because I was just standing on like the back of our truck with my cross, you know, up at the sky, like just worshiping God, like just believing like this is it, you know, thank you for saving me. I didn't care. I had a robe on, it was open. Like, I just didn't even care at that time. It didn't matter anymore. And basically I could hear some of, you know, the demonic energy or that was around people or something. One of them even said like, how is he upside down? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like the world was shifted like this. And that's how I feel like we're supposed to be right now. I feel like the world is upside down right now, and you know, it's supposed to be like this, but right now we're upside down, and that's why everything is wrong. That's why in that Spideyverse, multiverse things, they showed the city upside down. Weird stuff going on, you guys, you know what I mean? But I'm believing this, and I see the sun, it's getting closer. I see the sun, it's getting closer, and I'm just waiting just for Jesus just to pop up, you know what I mean, with the sun and save me, because I just know he's gonna save me, you guys. And so the sun, it gets so bright, you guys, I had to like go behind the tree, and it felt so close. I had to go behind this tree to block the sun out, you know, and look through the trees because it got so bright. And at this time, you know, my spouse was outside saying like, what are you doing? You acting a fool. You embarrassing us. Come back in the trailer. You know, people are yelling at me. But in my mind, I'm in a whole different spiritual realm. So I'm not hearing it. I'm doing my thing. And I'm actually thinking that, you know, they're trying to latch on to me and pull me down, you know, with them to be earthbound when this goes down. So I'm like, get away from me, get away from me. You know, the Lord Jesus is here, Jesus is coming. And so when that sun got like, it felt like the sun was literally right here, you guys. I came out from behind that tree and I looked up at the sky, you guys. I saw Jesus. I saw him. I put this on my life to strike me down right now. I promise you guys, I looked up, I saw Jesus, and he had on a white robe, and I feel like he had something on his wrist or whatever, and he looked direct, and he was flying over, and he had beings with him. I want to say they were angels, but I was so fixed on him and his face, and that I could actually see him. And he looked at me and he smiled at me. And I was thinking that he was gonna pull me up, out, and save me. And he just looked at me and smiled, and he kept flying over and with the angels. And and so that happened, and I started jumping up there. I said, it's Jesus. I said, everybody, I was like, it's Jesus. Like, I'm crying, I'm pointing, and people thinking I'm just nuts and crazy at this time. So sorry y'all, it's getting dark out here too. I'm gonna try to wrap this up. That happens. And so people, I guess, that called the police because they was like, this dude is out here acting crazy in this park, or whatever. So, this is 20 minutes after I saw Jesus go by, and I'm just thinking, like, why didn't he save me? You know what I mean? And then the police shows up and everybody's telling me, like, calm down, get down off the truck, making me like, dude. And I'm like, I'm crying. I'm like, this is not fair, that I have to stay here or something. And so, I ended up having to leave the RV park. They told me I couldn't be there, for that night anymore. We just had to leave or whatever. So my spouse, we just went to a hotel room for the night, and I was like, I know I'm not crazy. I'm like, these things happen to me. This happened to me in real life. I saw Jesus. He revealed himself to me. He appeared to me and he looked at me and smiled. And when I kept replaying this, like the day after or days after, something that I've heard about growing up, this thing that's called Passover. And you heard about it growing up and everything, and like the people who celebrate Passover, Hanukkah, and all of that. And I had some origin of it, but we just celebrated just Christmas and everything. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, Passover. I'm like, he passed over. He flew over, passed over, but he let me see him and he revealed himself to me. And I'm like, oh, Passover. And so I was like doing more research on Passover, and it was where they put what was it, the blood or on the houses. So when he came over, that they wouldn't be left behind, or something like that. And it's just always like a revelation just coming out to me, and I was like, Passover, and it was so real to me. And this is real, you guys. I can't make this up. Like, it just hit me. I'm like, Passover. And like I said, I heard about Passover growing up. Some of my friends and their family, that's what they celebrated, Passover. But I didn't really know what it meant. And I didn't even need to know what it meant or look it up or be explained into detail, the Passover, because like I said, I didn't really celebrate Passover. We just celebrate Christmas and everything. And so once I thought about it, and I'm like, Passover, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is real. This is real, you guys. So that's my testimony, you guys. And ever since that day, the Lord has been calling me to share my testimony with you guys, or just to share my testimony, no matter how I done it, no matter who I done it to, or random person, grocery store. But I really feel like I need to get on this platform and do this and share my testimony, you guys. And everything that I told you is real. It's the truth. Go do the research for yourself. Go look at all the things I told you about. Watch out for Beyonce. Watch out. Stop listening to her. Stop listening to her. Stop singing her songs. Don't go to her shows. Don't go to her concerts. And I know it's hard to undownload Beyonce or just artists we grew up with. Sorry, you guys, it's getting dark. It's hard to just to kind of erase that out of your head or forget about it, because I even find myself still singing some of her lyrics or whatever, and I'm like, no. But the reason that it's so unbelievable and so hard, because we grew up singing these songs. We grew up with this music. So it's gonna take, you know, a little while to get it out of our systems, but the Lord is working with us right now, and He is making everything brand new. He is working. Oh yeah, another thing that was happening when I was seeing the demonic energy in like the trees and the ground and the forest, when I knew that the Lord was back and He was working, those images of demonic energy and faces that coming out of the ground, I started to see crucifixes in the vines in the woods. It turned more and more from demonic energy into crucifixes, crosses with the vines in the trees in the woods. I promise you guys. And it was like more demonic energy was getting replaced with more crosses. Like God is working, you know. I was seeing so much stuff happening, you guys, in the spirit. More cardinals flying by in the woods. I was seeing this beam of light just zip by me so fast and all over the woods. I mean, it was so fast, and just all of these things was happening, you guys, and it was through the spirit, and the Lord was talking to me, and it was for a purpose and a reason. And I've been called to share my experience and testimony with you guys, and I hope that this moves some people and, you know, really opens their eyes onto the truth. There's a lot of deception in the world right now, especially with a lot of these music artists. Pay attention. Pay attention, you guys. That's why Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and Madonna are all on tour right now, trying to spread as many demons and demonic energy out in the world as they can before their time is up. That little mountain out there, Hollywood, that little mountain, is a representation of them, you know, just trying to build up this demonic energy, and just so pitiful, that mountain. And that is the mountain that, you know, is talked about, you know, with the Lord and Babylon, and how He knocked that mountain down and everything. Well, it's getting ready to happen with them out there in Hollywood. That mountain is getting ready to fall, and it's about to burn down. It's gonna fall. And if any of y'all have Roku, if you pay attention, when Roku goes on to the idle screen or screensaver, pay attention to what's on that screensaver, because it'll basically tell you everything you need to know. Pay attention to what's in that screensaver. It's the one that has the mountain, it has the Titanic in the water. There's like these factories, to me, which are like cloning factories. You see the Hollywood sign out there in the hills, but behind it there's like this orange amberish color glowing behind it, which to me depicts hell, and they know they're gonna fall behind it. And if you look off in the distance, there's like, they have this planet out there, like this dark blue planet that they call Planet X. And I know y'all have heard about this. Go look on the Roku screensaver, y'all, and look behind the Hollywood hills. They have a planet back there that they think that they're going to be able to escape to when the time comes, when the Lord returns, which is silly. It's silly and pathetic and sad. But I will continue to pray for a lot of them, but some of them, they just don't care at all. They wouldn't change what they're doing if their world, their life depended on it. They like doing what they doing. They like having the power. They like being in the darkness. They don't want to be exposed. They don't want to be on Front Street. They don't want to be in the light, you know. So those ones, I feel like we should still pray for them as well. Whether, you know, they already have made their bed and laid in it, you know, I feel like we should still pray for them. But if y'all guys don't believe me, go look for yourselves at all things I told you about. And, you know, all of these people are in you know, with that evil stuff in the media, the movies, the TVs, all these big forces at play. You know what I mean? All this wickedness in high places. And if it wasn't true, then why do y'all keep putting it in everything? y'all, they putting it out in our faces now because they know they're running out of time, so they just on Front Street with it. Pay attention, you guys. Love y'all. See y'all on my next video.